Hello everyone. We're not gonna have a long intro, but basically Quad Cortex 3.0 updates dropped, as many of you already know. If you own the Quad Cortex, chances are you've already upgraded to it for the plugin compatibility, and we've got the Plini and the Gojira plugins, both which I have. And today I just wanted to kind of go through quickly one of my favorite combinations at the moment on the Quad Cortex with the new plugins. I've got Cortex Control open here already, and I haven't got anything on the grid just yet, so it's it's an empty preset. I'm in drop C. What I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to show you my favorite combination of the two plugins so far, the Plini and the Gojira. So my new favorite high gain amp is the Plini Lead. I don't know what it is, but there's just something incredible about it. And then pairing that with the Gojira Cab 3. So we haven't touched any of the settings or anything on here, but it kind of sounds good straight with the default settings in this cab, as you'll hear. A little bit chuggy, but we know we can get it chuggier. So what I'm actually going to do now is add in one of my other new favorite additions, and that's the Gojira OD pedal in here. We're going to use it like the classic tube screamer, where we kind of put the settings level around about 7.1. We leave the tone as is. Sometimes you might put that up. We're not scooping the mids on here, so I might put the tone up. And you'll kind of hear that this already gives you a nice high gain tone, just default. Super sick. That sounds good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not terrible, but we know that we can get better. The thing I've found with the Plini Lead amp, just dial the gain up. We're not doing metalcore here, so I am going to add a little bit of bass. I'm going to put the mid at 7, treble at 7. I've got the bright on, and you can hear there's noise in there already, but we'll get rid of that in a second. This is going to make it sound huge. Love it. Now, we're not done. So I'm going to move this to the end. I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to put an EQ there. But one of the new additions in here, which I think is an absolute game changer, is the sidechain adaptive gate. Usually with a noise gate, you kind of add that at the start of the chain, but it doesn't really let you kind of filter out the sound and noise that, basically effects and whatnot can introduce. And if you do traditionally put it after effects, it can kind of have this dulling effect almost. So this sidechain basically sidesteps it, acts as a noise gate, but it takes in the source as our input one, which is what my guitar's plugged into. Now, with the default noise gate reduction of 30%, I can hear the noise is gone. Still a bit noisy, so I'm going to bump this up to like 60% for a nice sort of nice gated sound. You can just hear when I stop and I mute the strings, you're not hearing kind of like the string noise in there like you were when it was at 30%. I mean, this is huge now. I mean, this is this is like a good combination right here, straight at the bat. No EQ. Well, really, the Gojira OD pedal is acting as an EQ, but as you can see, like, there's not a whole lot going on here. Like, this is as kind of as clean as you can get it. Now, if you're doing like prog type stuff or anything like genty stuff where you want it super gated, you can also go in and you can add something like a simple gate, and then you can set the threshold to like -30. Now, this might be too gated for my tastes and for most people's tastes, but if you're doing like way too gated, way too gated, but you can just hear that is so tight. Like, if you're doing like stuff like monuments type stuff where it's kind of like really fast, heavy, strong picking, but you want it like gated, like you can hear that just completely stops. Now, I wouldn't always put like 2 gates in here, but with the addition of this sidechainable adaptive gate, the possibilities for really tight high gain sound have just been blown wide open, in my opinion. Like, listen to this. I'm picking quite hard here too. I actually really like that. If you're doing anything kind of that just needs absolute tight gate control, put two gates in there and just do like a simple gate at the start, and then do this new adaptive gate with a decent noise reduction, and then using your source as your guitar. Cool thing about this is this hasn't even got an EQ in there, and as like I'm listening to it, I'm like, this doesn't even need an EQ, to be honest with you. Like, I'd be happy just playing this like this, and I don't think it sounds terrible at all. Now, what you can do to give it a little bit more oomph is we can like boost up 65 now that we've got some noise gate and stuff in there, and you'll hear like when we do open string, it's going to be a little bit like more boomy on the low end. Now, if you are doing like Monuments-esque type stuff, one thing you can do as well is for more pick attack, you can do like little boosts around 2 and 4. Get that like scratchy, chicka chicka wah wah, like. How good does that sound? Like, as I said, you don't even need the EQ because it sounds fine, in my opinion. Now, I might do like a low pass around 10 or 11-ish just to kind of get it a little bit more cleaner, but. That is absolutely filthy. Like, the new plugin compatibility, I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting there to be a huge difference for higher gain tones, but I slept on the Plini plugin, to be honest with you. Like, I have the plugins I use on the desktop, and, the Gojira and the Nolly were kind of always my favorites. The Gojira, especially for high gain stuff, And then if you want to get real filthy, like, Thor type stuff, then like obviously the Fort Nameless is the way to go. And I'm still holding out for that because I think Fort Nameless is it's gonna take the crown for high gain when we do get it. But sometimes you want this 5150-esque style gain. I assume the Plini lead is a 5150 amp. I have no idea. But I assume that pretty much all these like amps seem to be variations of 5150s. But in my opinion, this sounds better than some of the high gain I've been able to get out of the stock 5150 amps on the Quad Cortex. Not to say they're bad. They've been awesome. I've managed to get some great high gain, but this just feels like another level. Like I can't quantify anything like, detailed or specific other than like it just feels like... Have a play around with it if you haven't already. If you're on the fence about what plugin to get, I think the Plini will surprise you because not only can it do high gain, but it can actually do cleans really well. The Plini reverb is hands down the best reverb available on the Quad Cortex right now. It's a shame that it's a paid reverb, but if you've been frustrated with the reverbs on the Quad Cortex, I mean, I've been a little disappointed with them. The Plini reverb is like, it's the creme of the crop when it comes to reverbs on there. Like, it's night and day difference in how much better it is. Now, it's not going to sound good if I go adding it into here. So it's probably not really a good time to be showing you how good the reverb is on there. But definitely go in and experiment. If you're on the fence and you can only afford to get one plugin or you haven't chosen your free one yet, definitely I would consider the Plini. Even if you are doing high gain, the Gojira is good for high gain, but I think the Plini is a little bit more... versatile. It just sounds so good. It's ridiculous how good it is. Yeah, give it a shot. This is my favorite combination. If you haven't got both, a Plini cab will still do the trick on here, but I've just found, I don't know what these are modeled after. I don't know what this cabinet's modeled after. That it's just a dream combination. And even better, you can actually play around with these mics on here, which is something I don't often do, but I have found myself, like when I've been trying out these plugins, I've been experimenting with different things. The 160 microphone actually paired with the 57 actually gives it a little... It gives it a new level of metalness. Like, listen to this. I think that has a little bit more... It has a little bit more tightness to it, whereas this one's a little bit more open. I'm going to end this here because I really just wanted this to be a quick video to show you my new favorite combination with the plugins. So if you're looking for a high gain tone, like copy these settings and this combination, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And you don't even need to do these EQ adjustments. These kind of maybe are a bit more specific to the sound I was trying to go for, where I was, as I was saying, trying to get that Monuments like scratchiness. So I bumped up the pick attack a little bit, but you can disable this and it's still going to sound good. You can hear the difference there when I just turned it off. Like it's brighter. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for watching if you made it to the end. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing because I'm trying to get back into making Quad Cortex content again. And I like to do, clone tone sort of things where I'll take a song and try and recreate the tone with the Quad Cortex, if you've seen some of my other videos, and then I put the preset up on the cloud. So this isn't a preset on the cloud, but if you want it to be, just let me know and I can kind of, I can put it up there for you to download with. But I feel like, this is one of those things where just have a play around with it because you might find another combination. The magic combination, in my opinion, is this adaptive sidechainable gate. And, as I said as well, you don't need a second gate at the start, but it can make things a little bit tighter. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've made any sort of variations of this or what your favorite combination is. And hopefully I'll see you around the next video.